All right, Wednesday's bringing in our midweek blessing, and she is our one major arcana card this week. It is the beautiful Empress, the Earth Mother, pregnant with possibilities. So how beautiful as we see the full moon up here. As we know, this is the card on the day of the full moon in Leo. We have the very earth energy of the Empress, bringing in all of that creative energy into our spiritual gardens, into what we are birthing new into the world, literally, as you see it beautifully depicted here on this card. It also brings through the energy of three, the energy of co-creation and collaboration. And, I feel like for many of us, like we've been talking about these seeds we've planted and, maybe we haven't seen the fruit yet. And it's funny because I was just talking about this with family over the weekend because we were reminiscing about the different, babies being born in our family, especially because we have birthdays coming up and such. And that idea of, women getting to that final stretch of their pregnancy and, sometimes the notion of like, get this baby out of me, this idea of like, okay, I'm ready. Like I want the idea that I want my body back, or I want normalcy. I want to be able to see my feet. I want to be able to do, all these things that go along with that beautiful experience and the absolute blessing that is, while simultaneously having its shadow aspects, those moments of, like I said, with birthing anything, there's going to be this expansion and contraction and the labor pains and the false starts and all the different things that can come through the birthing process. And so, whatever it is that you are gestating right now within you, or that you have been dreaming of holding in your arms, this is being highlighted here in this full moon as a real opportunity, again, to harness the fire, the creative potential of this first full moon of the year, while also releasing and shedding some of those shadow aspects, some of those more, primitive aspects that may have served us at a time that we can now release and let go with love, with forgiveness, with understanding of the different stages, the different things we move through in this birthing process and what that's all about. Even from the moment of inception, where we decide that we want to birth a thing, right? The thing hasn't even been fertilized yet, right? Like the seed isn't even planted. It's the idea, right, that sparks the seed. And then every step that we take from there to actually deliver this baby of ours into the world, that's already in progress from the moment that the notion is made. So just know that, what is meant for you will not pass you by, that you are birthing miraculous things into this world and doing so from your spiritual garden. And so that's something I've talked about a lot too, because, this midweek blessing of talking about how we are growing and how we are expanding. Sorry, I said this was the card for the full moon, but it's actually the Eight of Wands, but I'm getting ahead of myself with the full moon on the card and just all the connectedness and all the things. So Wednesday card, but like we know, time isn't linear. These cards are just placeholders and they're all interacting with each other throughout the week, that the Empress is bringing in this opportunity to really tend to our spiritual gardens. And this can really bring in energies of the divine feminine, of prolific creativity, fertility, motherhood, unity, goddess energy, sensuality, nurturing, abundance, empathy, unconditional love, the unification of mind, body, and spirit. Bringing it all together in the garden. And as I like to say, in the garden, we don't feed the weeds, okay? So yes, there are weeds. I see that there are weeds. We're not denying that there are weeds, but we're not going to just sit there and perseverate on the weeds, right? We're going to focus on the beautiful blooms that we want to bring forward while tending to the weeds that need to be addressed. But there's this sense of balance as far as how much of my time and energy am I willing to give to each of these different components that are all a part of the birthing process, including the weeds, right? They have a role to play. So really being able to just see the full garden that is around and understand that they each are playing a role, and that I too am in this role, that I am deciding how much of my energy I'm giving to each of these things. So there really is this calling back of our energy back to ourselves so that we can sort of, kind of go through it and determine, what is it that we need to release and shed and forgive and leave behind so we can launch into the new, which then comes in with the full moon on Thursday. So there's this beautiful blessing coming in midweek, showing that you really are entering a time of profound healing and blessings. And that if you are feeling any lack of blessings or inspiration or possibilities, to seek to heal that within you, starting with the physical body. This is a Taurus energy, so it's bringing us into the physical body, into the earth, into the very practical, here I am. This is my physical temple. This is my physical vessel through which I'm birthing this big, beautiful thing. So making sure that I'm nourishing it and really allowing myself to create a very beautiful place to host this shining creative essence that I have within me. Continue to move calmly and gracefully in the direction of all those things that say yes, that feel right, that feel aligned, right? Because this card often affirms that you are on the right track. So keep growing. And I love that it says that, because this is our card for really feeling into the blessings that lead us into how we are growing, which is coming just on the other side. So really tapping into all of those aspects. The mantra here says, I am ready to give birth to my abundantly rich future. So let's take a look and see what's popping for the full moon in Leo on Thursday.